Yeah, like we hear every now and then. Like sometimes, like they'll like our media team does a pretty good job of like putting it over top of the videos. Like I guess the stuff they put on Instagram and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we'll sometimes, and I can probably guess what you're about to say, but I'll let you hit it.
Welcome to My Gotta Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I are joined by Georgia wide receiver Ladd McConkey. This is the second installment of our 2023 player interview series. We think everyone will enjoy hearing what Ladd has to say, and we hope you feel like you got to know him a little better. I know we did. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Oxia Time, as well as the Classic City Collective for making this episode possible. Now, it's time to clock in with Ladd McConkey. All right, so we're back with another edition of our collaborations with Oxia Time and Classic City Collective with our player interview series. So if you haven't checked out the episode with Tate Radledge, be sure to go check that out. But super excited to have Ladd McConkey, redshirt junior from Chatsworth, Georgia, out of North Murray High School. Ladd, welcome to My Gotta Podcast.
Heck yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. We know Tate told you all the good things about how great it is to be on. So, you had to like sign right up to come hang out with us.
He has some good feedback. Get some.
uh, I
But yeah,
know, John, why don't you get us off with our what we like to open with these guys?
Yes. Lad, we always like to open when we have our guests on that are they're fans and players. Just give us a rundown of what your Georgia story is, because as I understand it, you didn't grow up a Georgia fan. What led you to Georgia? Your recruiting story, and we've got a couple of questions that'll probably lead you along the way a little bit. But what's your Georgia story?
yeah. So really, yeah, like I didn't have too many big offers coming out of high school, like all FCS. Like I always tell everybody, like my 5 official visits were UTC, so Tennessee Chattanooga,
Yeah.
Jackson State. I went to West Point, Army West Point, which was actually a really cool experience going up there. Then I went to Georgia, and then I went to Vanderbilt. It was kind of like all all across the spectrum. But yeah, they came on late. Coach Smart ended up or Coach Smart and Coach Hartley came to a basketball game on a Monday night, and then came back to my house and gave me the offer, and I was like, okay, this is it kind of came on quick. Like, it's pretty sweet. But yeah, like you said, I grew up a Tennessee fan, so I wasn't always a Dogs fan. And
You
honestly,
and
I can't.
Tate.
Yeah, both of us, yeah, y'all got the Tennessee guys on here, but yeah, I can't say like if Tennessee would have offered me, like I probably would have been there. Like just how I grew up, like that was where I wanted to go. But once I got to Georgia, went on my visit and everything, I was like, okay, I can't turn this down. Like I got.
Did you create any factions in your family when you made that decision?
No, all of them was a pretty easy transition. Uh, they all have red on now, and it's like sometimes I look at them like, dang, that's a little like a little weird. Like I've never seen y'all wearing that before. But I always give my brother, always give him a hard time because he still has a Tennessee T on his the back of his truck. I'm like, dude, like you got to take that off. But
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So would you say that was Coach Hartley kind of like your lead recruiter, I guess, through that?
uh, I mean, I really don't know. Like it happened literally so fast. Like I
Yeah.
was laying in bed and I got a text and it was like Coach Hankton. It was like, hey, this is Coach Hank from UGA. And it was like, hey, this is Coach Hartley from UGA. Hey, this is Coach Smart from UGA. And it was like back to back to back. And I was like, okay, someone's like, this is this is not true. But so yeah, I don't know. It all happened so fast. So I don't know who you'd really call the lead recruiter in that one.
Got it.
That's
That's
crazy.
yeah.
Because so just walk us through it a little bit. Like you were a 3-star recruit, right? Like did you feel like you were a 3-star recruit at the time? Like what was going through your head? Like you said, you had those handful of visits to those smaller schools. What how do you feel about that?
Yeah, like I always knew like if I could just get my shot, like if someone would just take a chance on me, like I could make the most of it. And like I was so close, like in my recruitment, like just ready to be done with it, and was like, I'm gonna commit to one of these schools. I'm just gonna do it. Like I really loved like Tennessee Chattanooga. Like the coaches up there, like they were awesome. It's 45 minutes from my house, so they were there like all the time. But my brother was like, just be patient, dude. Like be patient. I promise it's gonna happen. So ended up happening, thankfully. So
Man, we're so glad that it did.
Yeah, seriously. And so, and I mean,
Oh,
you were playing like multiple positions in high school, right? Like, weren't you playing quarterback?
yeah, so I played quarterback my senior year, which was actually really fun. Got to have the ball in my hands every play. Got to just run around and throw it every now and then and run it. So it was sweet.
do you ever like give Kirby a nudge in the games? Like, hey.
Oh, tell him like, hey, like just put in a double pass. Let's do something. Like I can do it, but I mean, you know how it goes.
That's only
Yeah.
reserved for other receivers, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
seriously. We got to get you out of that list. I don't know. Like, so I know you said like, you believed it. You felt like if you just had the chance, if like for like the other three stars out there, like, any advice for that kid in high school who maybe, has that confidence in himself, but isn't getting the looks, like any advice for those kids out there, how to handle it?
yeah, really just be patient. Like that was my thing. Like I said, I almost was like, let's just jump the gun. Let's just do it. Like I'm done with it. But be patient. But like now with the portal, like people can go FCS, have a blowout or a crazy year, and then transfer. So times are different now. So I feel like if you're not like if you don't get your like what you want exactly out of high school, just go
Mhm.
and prove yourself, and you can get it the next year. So it's crazy times now.
Did the thought ever not to put it out there, but like did the thought ever occur to you that like maybe you should go to Tennessee or something like that? Like, or do we just completely get like all in on Georgia? Obviously, but like did the thought ever cross your mind, or did you ever get hit up or persuaded?
No, no, like it's
Okay.
so yeah. It was like when I went to Tennessee on a visit like the next week, like after Georgia offered me,
Okay. Okay.
and they gave me like they were just like, yeah, like we've already offered some guys, like we think they're going to commit. We can't really like give you anything. And they're like, but if anything happens and changes on signing day, like we'll call you and let you know. So I was like,
Who'd they take over you? Just out of curiosity.
I can't e- I can't even remember honestly who the two guys are. Like I don't remember how many it was, but yeah, so they had some guys and they're like, if anything changes, like we'll call you. And I was like, screw that. Like I'm not gonna be even put myself in that position. As soon as I woke up 7 a.m. on signing day, I signed my papers and sent it over. I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna put myself in that position. So I knew where I wanted to be, and I feel like it worked out pretty well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely worked out. It definitely worked out. And I mean, and so you red shirt in 2020 in COVID year, right? But then when you come onto the scene in 2021, I mean, like right out the gate, you started that game in Charlotte, right? Clemson.
Yeah, yeah. Started that first game in Clemson, which was crazy. Yeah, that was. I was like, went from not playing. I didn't play a single snap that year before, and then got to like run out there and start that first game. So it was a pretty sweet feeling.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the run that started it all too. I mean, that's a pretty cool feather in your cap to have right there.
No doubt. That game was crazy too. It was like I think it was like 10-3 or something. Like we didn't even score on offense. I was like, oh my god. But that's when we started rolling after that. So.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
What was it? What's it like? Because you've basically played with a lot of different quarterbacks that have come through. Like you've caught for guys that have that are waiting their turn. You caught for Stetson. You caught for JT. Like what's been your perspective on the quarterback position at Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a bunch of like really good quarterbacks come through. Like even like my freshman year, Jamie Newman was
Oh,
there
that's
for.
right.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys. So like Jamie, JT's, I was a Stetson, Carson, like Dewan played for a little bit.
That's
Um,
right.
so yeah, like I've seen a lot of them, and yeah, been lucky to be able to catch some passes from them.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
I did not have Jamie Newman on my bingo card to come up on this lad as a class from the past. I definitely remember when what was it, the year of the dog? I don't know if you've seen that. The ESPN did like a documentary on 2021, and I remember like that they did like a flashback to like spring or whatever from the year before, and from 2020, and Jamie Newman was that. And I was like the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, like he looked pretty good in practice.
Yeah, yeah.
Never got
So
to see
yeah.
it.
Did that surprise you guys when he left?
I mean, that whole time was like
Just a weird,
weird
yeah,
with like. I mean, I don't know. That whole season was honestly crazy.
yeah, right. But then you
Yeah.
got to 21 and we've been on this magical run, right? Like, I mean, what does it feel like? Because if you grew up a Tennessee fan, so you're probably around and aware of the 90s and all that kind of stuff that they had. How does it feel to be a part of something that's meant so much to so many people throughout the entire state and Bulldog Nation?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome first kind of like our fan base. Like as I saw it as a Tennessee fan, like all my buddies, like all their dads, all their family, like they were all Georgia fans. So like if I was ever watching like a Tennessee Georgia game with them, I was like, oh my gosh, like these guys are going crazy. But like that, I feel like that's how like Georgia fans are. They like love it so much and like so passionate about it. So like to be able to, I mean, put together the couple seasons we've had, it's been pretty special and pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you've obviously been a huge part of it. I know like what Auburn in 21, I feel like was your first like really like explosive game. You had those two long touchdown passes, or two long touchdown catches in that game. And then I don't know what's it like playing on the road in a crazy environment like that, and maybe being able to silence them a little bit with some of that.
Yeah, playing on the road, like obviously there's just it's like a sense of like we're all we got, we're all we need, and like
Hmm.
everyone else is which dogs travel though too. So like you can always hear them getting up and make a play, but yeah, there's like it's really cool to be able to like go and like play at other places. Like
Hmm.
obviously Auburn, not even that game, but like that's just like a crazy place to play. Like they get so excited. Like Neyland's another one. It gets really loud. I mean, we played at South Carolina doing like the sandstorm and stuff like that, and like, but like really like that. It's cool. I think it's really cool to kind of go play at places like that.
Yeah.
What's been your like I mean what's been your favorite like away venue? Obviously obviously Sanford's the best, right? So like what's been the next best, I guess, in your experience thus far?
Uh, Auburn really is a pretty cool one because I feel like they're like right on top of you. It's like all the fans are just like right there. You can like hear everything. And then like we played Neyland 2 years ago, and then I mean obviously coming up here next week. That's a
Yeah.
pretty cool one to play in. Um, Mississippi State with the Cowbells. Uh, and like last year when we played Mizzou, like their stadium's not the biggest, but like they act like their fans were into the game. Like it was getting loud. Like I remember like their little thing was like MIZ, and like the whole crowd was like COU. So it was like it's cool to see other fan bases and just like kind of see what their like I guess like little memo is and stuff like that.
Right.
Right.
Right. For sure. I do. Okay, so you mentioned the cowbells. I got to bring up because Lad, one of the things we've talked about is like you are an excitable player. I feel like you get the crowd hyped. And I remember you gave a little cowbell back to them last year after your long touchdown run.
Yeah, I don't really know that one, but
It didn't
no.
happen. We didn't see that.
You've done the cowbells, and where did the finger guns come from?
So that's actually a funny story. So like
Yes.
all, so my dad and like all his high school buddies, like that was what they did. Like the six shooters, like when they scored, I don't know why, but like they just like would always do that. So they always text me before the game, like they'll call me, they'll just like 84, like 84, you gonna hit the six shooters today? Like when you gonna do it? When you gonna do it? And it got to the last game of the year. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So it's like it just I I wasn't even thinking about doing it before the game. It just I scored, and I was like, I might as well do it. And like they have like kids my age too, so they were like videoing their dads, and they were like going crazy. So it was actually it was cool to see their I guess their
I don't know how wide and deep our GIF content comes from, but goes out to you if you guys have seen it. But that was a GIFable moment that when it happened, Jim and I were like, we've got to get that on a GIF immediately. So you're immortalized in one of our GIFs of many there are.
heck yeah.
Well, shoot. While we're on that game, I don't know, Ladd. We had people that said they really wanted to make sure we talked to you about this. I don't know. So like when we were in school, okay, and like we're for My God a Podcast. It's a riff off of Larry Munson. Larry Munson was the play-by-play guy when we were back in school. We've got Scott Howard now. Like, do you guys like? Does that get back to you at all? Like, you guys make a big play, like the Scott Howard call of like, like, do you guys even like find out about that?
Yeah, like we hear every now and then. Like sometimes, like they'll like our media team does a pretty good job of like putting it over top of the videos. Like I guess the stuff they put on Instagram and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we'll sometimes, and I can probably guess what you're about to say, but I'll let you hit it.
I mean, basically, I feel like the people who listen to our podcast would be so mad if we didn't ask you about McConkey got on his donkey.
Yeah. And so I don't know if y'all have seen it. Have y'all seen that like AI generated photo? It's like me riding a donkey. I'm like, what in the like
Yes.
where did that come from? But yeah. It was I was cracking up. Like there were so many people that sent it to me. It was like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? I was like, yeah. I was cracking up.
I feel like did John create that, Jim? I can't even remember where
I don't
he
know
got
where
from.
it came from. I
feel
think
like he was the first one that showed it to us.
So I actually was trying to figure that out recently. It was Coach Trillbill. Coach Trillbill sent that to us during the game.
That's what it was.
So that game, like that that image came out like during a game this season, Ladd. It was like during the game people were texting it. I don't know where it came from, but yeah, or that's where we first saw it was this season. So
the Bing AI generator has been a pretty fun toy that we as visual creators ourselves, we've been playing around with a lot of stuff. And John Tweed Sports is one of our colleagues, and he's gotten some pretty cool images out of it. And so everybody's kind of trying to one up each other on who can create the best AI dog. But I think that you won that one.
Yeah, for sure.
That was pretty solid one. Pretty solid.
Awesome. Well, I know. So earlier, we talked about the transfer portal a little bit, and just talking about like you mentioned like how much college football is changing, and obviously like NIL, is something that is new as well. Actually, you're in really the first like generation of players to be involved there, and like one of the things we talked about with Tate as well is like, one of the things we've seen from it is like guys have podcasts like that. It feels like we get to know you guys better through it or because of it, I guess. But I don't know. I guess like in general, like what has NIL meant for you?
Wait, can you see me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought my phone messed up for a second.
Oh, you're good.
No, yeah. I mean, it's been cool. Like honestly, but the thing our coaches have done a good job of preaching is like keep the main thing, and like if you like really like if you can put a good product out on the field like that, and like not even on the field but just like your image, really, that's when like brands want to come to you. So I feel like at times, I mean, I guess it can like get out of hand in ways, but I feel like it's been pretty good so far. And I mean, it's giving people opportunity to build their like brand before, I mean, they go to the next level or not. I mean, like that's the thing people don't understand. It's like not everyone's going to make it to the league. Like that's just the way it is. And if you do, I mean, who knows how long you'll be there. So why not take full advantage of all that while you got it?
Yeah, for sure. That was always one of the weird things, frankly, about college football is there are athletes who are probably like at their peak level of marketability when they're in college, right?
Yeah.
So it did always seem I'll just use the word weird, unfair. I would probably say that like to not let guys be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely been I don't know. I was always a supporter of it. Thought it's been cool. And it's for us, obviously, selfishly, it's enabled us to do things like this, which has obviously been really fun. But so again, we mentioned at the top, Classic City Collective, Oxia Time are collaborating, and we're able to set this up. John and I, we've got our watches, and we know you're an Oxia Time ambassador as well. I don't know. What do you think about your watch? Have you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, I wear it every game day. Like on the dog walk, I got it on. I actually have my the national championship one that they made, so I wear that every day. I mean, they're high end Swiss watches, like durable, look good. So yeah, they're sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you
And
played around with the athletic strap?
oh yeah,
I have. So I actually have two watches. I have just like a normal one, and then I have the playoff or the college football playoff one. So I kind of mess around with both of them. I actually put like the red strap on one. So yeah, just messing around with all, because it comes with like I think three different straps in each one of them. So
yeah.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's definitely something we've enjoyed. I know John likes to leave the stainless steel in his. I like the NATO strap. So we understand there was a photo shoot, Ladd. We've seen some of the photos. So we have seen the ones of you catching the football with the watch and the red strap on the watch. It look pretty sweet. I don't know. Is there like any modeling in your future, Ladd?
I mean, I not that I know of right now. So
Uh,
I like
that's
to play.
great.
I like to play football. So hopefully I can keep that.
Keep that rolling.
Love it. Well, definitely, everyone go check them out. You can head over to axiatime.com. It's AXIATIME.com. A portion of the proceeds from these watches, when they're sold, go to Bulldogs Battling Breast Cancer. And like we talked, like the proceeds also support the student athletes at University of Georgia through the Classic City Collective. And like we've talked about, there's the two two national championship collections, and you can also check out the limited edition timepieces that are signed by with the presentation box signed by Kirby Smart. There's only 25 of those from each design, so be sure to head over to axiatime.com to check those out.
Ladd, have you seen the latest 2024 watches that they just dropped, the new styles? Those would look good with the Georgia logo on them, don't you think?
They look pretty good. They look sweet.
Oh man. Okay, so I guess kind of back like just with this season, Ladd. So I know like you're coming in. We're all like, I know I'm sure you had big like personal expectations. You have the injury and you have to sit out. But when you came back, I mean, like you were back like right away, which is like super impressive to me. I'm just curious, like, what did you do to stay ready? Like, not only physically, but also mentally. Like, I don't know. How are you? How are you able to do that? It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, really just kind of staying locked in. Like, I mean, we have meetings every day before practice for like a couple hours. I have so many walkthroughs before that. So, I mean, I was still able to do stuff like that, like go to the meetings, get all the get at the game plan for that week, do all the walkthroughs. So, I mean, that was easy. The easy part is being able to kind of stay mentally locked in that way. But it was definitely frustrating at times. Like, just wanted put in so much work, like winter workouts, summer workouts, fall camp, and then it's like right before the season, just boom, something happens, and I mean you're out for a couple weeks. So it definitely was frustrating at times, but I mean it is what it is. I couldn't. You can't help injuries sometimes. You just gotta do what you can do to get over them and overcome it. So I'm just kind of try to do everything I could every day to get back out there.
Yeah. Well, it's been impressive since you're back. I mean, what like your second game back, you tied your career high in receiving yards against the Gators, which was a huge one. Which I gotta tell you, I don't know something that I observed the way you caught that ball and just like immediately pivoted and took it to the house kind of reminded me of the Lindsey Scott play back in 1980. You didn't run as far as he did, but just the way you ran away from the defense. So I don't know. I'm putting you up there with some Georgia legends, Left.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you just ran away from everybody. Speaking of running away, like you guys, I know there's probably some friendly competition amongst the team, right? Like, you guys do races? Like, are there challenges on the field? Like, hey, race me.
Honestly, not right now because by the time we get done with practice, like, we're okay. If I try to run another one, like I don't know about that, but no, I mean we got some guys that can absolutely fly on our team. It's so effortless too. Like they're just like out there just cruising. And I'm like, yeah, I
Who's
wish.
the who's the fastest?
I mean, I'd have to say Arian.
Arian.
Like
Okay.
Yeah.
any person, if you can run like a 10-0, 10-1 in the 100 meter, like you're probably gonna be the fastest player on your team. So yeah, he can absolutely roll.
Man, he's been close a few times this season.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, he just like the pressure he puts on defenses when he like just running vertical, like they have to respect it. So
Yeah. I know. I think I mean, as like a track guy, like, did you ever run track or anything? Like in high
no, no,
school? No?
no. Like I
Okay.
ran one meet my like junior year.
Okay.
Um, but like didn't really like actually like practice or nothing like that. But then I was actually planning on like maybe running senior year, but then COVID hit and then like shut all that down. So
Okay. Okay. Got it. Gotcha.
COVID.
Yeah. 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 I can't imagine for you guys being there. Like that's your introduction to college is COVID year. That's wild.
getting on campus and it was like the first thing I felt like we had to do was like go get a COVID test. Like and that was when they were picking them up in your brain. It felt like I was like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you guys had it like nonstop to be able to play and stuff. So I can't imagine. Um, well, with this week, got Ole Miss coming up. Um, last home game of the year, senior night game. You excited to have the fans light up Sanford? I mean, just like the volume of night games this year has also been insane compared to like last year. We had like so many noon kickoffs. Like, do you enjoy? Do you guys enjoy the night game? Like, do you care?
Oh no, yeah, games are always cool. I feel like the fans like definitely show up like pumped up, ready to get going. Especially like when the light show comes on in the fourth quarter. I see it in your background right now. but
Yeah.
but yeah, like that's something like I feel like you can never get like it never gets old. You can never get tired of that.
I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. This is an undefeated background.
Okay, keep it in, keep it.
Yeah, yeah. Do you guys, speaking of that, like do you guys have what's your routine and how does it change depending on the game times for for these matchups? Like I know that y'all have when we talked to Tate, he mentioned that like the schedule's very regimented. He actually made a joke like if I'm not doing anything, I almost like get scared, like am I missing something? So like
Yeah,
what's your prep like?
yeah. Like, are you talking about like on game days?
Yeah, on game days, yeah.
Yeah, so we always stay in the team hotel on Friday nights. So that's like if even if we're in Athens, like we'll stay at the Georgia Center, or if it's like it's an away game, we'll go stay somewhere wherever we're playing. But it all just depends. Like the noon kickoffs, like I feel like it's you wake up, eat, go to the stadium and play. But like 7 o'clock, you kind of got more time during the day, so you gotta like figure out how you want to like manage that, like because you don't want to just like lay there the whole day and like sit on your phone, but you also don't want to be up doing something all like the whole time. So I like to get a little nap in at some point during the day. Uh, but yeah, we usually like do pregame meal. I think it's like 4 hours before kickoff, and then we'll do like our walkthroughs and meetings and that stuff, and then head to the stadium and go play.
When you guys are in the locker room and you're getting hyped up, like is there some like what we asked Tate this, like what gets you energized for the game? Like is there songs that you guys play? Like what gets you like in that mode?
Uh, I get like really like when I like step off the bus at the dog walk and I see everybody there, like I immediately like feel like I get cold chills. I'm like, all right, like it's about that time. Like it's ready to get going. But kind of getting in the locker room and you got to be careful though. Like you can't get too high like before the game. Like you can't get too amped up because you're gonna get out there and then you're gonna be shot already before you get going. So I kind of try to stay level headed until I guess like right before the game, and then get it jacked up.
Gotcha. With it senior night I know like again you came in COVID. I know like eligibility is all crazy. Like have you guys all like told Kirby like has the team decided who's walking yet for senior night, or is that still all up in the air?
I think most people have decided if they are, if they're not, but like that doesn't necessarily like mean anything really. Like
right,
yeah,
right.
like you can like I'm a redshirt junior this year, but technically like senior.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna do senior night, but then also like I could do it again next year or whatever happens. So it doesn't like determine anything, but I feel like a lot of guys like if this is your fourth year, then most like all those guys are usually gonna do it, no matter their decision really.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But you're going to come back and do it again next year. That would be fine.
What about so Ladd, I do know you've got your black attire on Saturday night. We were discussing amongst friends for the fans. Like, do you again night game? Sometimes we were like, oh, the fans should black out the stadium. Like, is there any energy from that too? Like seeing the stands look a certain way, or is it just you guys just looking for the noise and the environment?
Yeah, it's usually just like when I hear like I can hear it like it's like not so much I guess when we're on offense it's not as loud, but like when our defense is standing on the sideline and like that's really when you can kind of like take it in and be like dang like this is crazy. So yeah, and our fans do it literally every single week. So it's that's the best part about it.
Is there any lobbying amongst the players to wear certain uniforms?
No, not shoot. We just whatever they put in our locker, I feel like we just put it on and go out there and play. So
Okay.
John, he already mentioned keep the main thing earlier. He's dialed in. I did. I saw something on the socials this week, Ladd, and I was curious if you wanted to tell your side of the story. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but Chris Brown was on and telling a story about being in a car wreck, and the medics basically that you were the first person that showed up, and the guy at the ambulance was like, "Hey, did you know Ladd McConkey's here?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy. That's actually insane. But so Chris is my roommate, and like we were all over at one of my other buddies' house. I can't even remember what we were even doing. Like, we were just sitting there hanging out. But Chris was like, "Hey, I got to go take a quiz or something." So like, I'm gonna head home. So I was like, "Okay." So we were just sitting there, like hanging out in the house, and I remember seeing like sirens like kind of go by like the house we were at, but I didn't like think anything about it. And then Chris's brother ended up calling me. I was like, "Hey, like, have you talked to Chris? Like, Chris has been in a wreck." I was like, "Well, like what?" So I called Chris, and he was like, "Yeah, I got in the wreck." Like, he was good, but I jumped in my car, and we went over there, and then just kind of like ran up there and started talking to him. And then afterwards, Chris was like, "Yeah, that guy was like wasn't even taking care of me." But no, I shouldn't say that. They took good care of him, but they were like, "Did you know Ladd McConkey?" Chris was like, "Yeah, I do." No, can you fix my eye here?
Okay, so it wasn't so noticeable to you. You found out about it from Chris later.
Yeah, it wasn't something
Yeah.
like God didn't like stop and like you know what I'm saying? Like he was doing a good job. They were taking care of him, but
That's too funny. That's too funny. I saw that, I don't know, a couple days ago. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was well timed because we had been talking to Patrick about having you on. So it's like, oh, I gotta ask Ladd about this.
Do you guys watch each other's content and stuff, like, or critique or comment on it amongst the locker room? Because, like Jim was saying, one of the best parts about NIL from my perspective is being able to watch all these stories unfold. Like, one of my favorite ones is listening to Jackson and Javon do their thing. Like, do you guys all kind of listen in and participate on each other's stuff?
yeah, I think so. I mean, like, and they do a good job too. Like with like Jackson's in, they like put it out on like the players' lounge, and then like Tate and them, like like do it on like through the collective and stuff. So like see it that way, and then just go and listen to it. It always like it's just funny because like I see those guys and I'm around them every single day, and then just see them do that podcast. So it's cool. It's funny though. They do a good job. All of them do.
Yeah.
And you, like Hughes and Jacob Hardy, they have theirs too. So they all do a solid job. It's fun to watch.
Have you gotten on with them and to talk? I think I've seen some, but I'm not sure.
I did one with Mackay Hughes.
That's right. Yeah. I thought I saw one with you.
That was like when I think that was like when he very first started it. Like it was like one of the first ones he did, but I haven't been on any of the other ones yet.
Got it. So, John, Ladd just brought up Mackay. I feel
I
like
was
we
just
have
about
to
to say, yeah, we have to address the elephant in the room.
We have an elephant in the room. Okay, Ladd. So, something that we started doing 2 years ago, I guess. So 2 years ago, we decided that Kyrus Jackson, your former teammate, we decided that he was the unofficial official receiver of My God a Podcast. And so it was kind of a thing, and we used to make gifs and jokes about that and everything. And so when
Try to get him on.
try to get him on, but when Kyrus, graduated, he's gone. Everyone wanted to know who was going to be the unofficial official receiver of My God a Podcast this year. And so we said we had to let it naturally play out. And when Mackay took that punt return to the house, like we were like inundated with it has to be Mackay. It has to be Mackay. So just so you know, we did name Mackay Muse the unofficial official receiver of My God a Podcast. However, Mackay isn't here and you are. So we were kind of curious. Would you be okay if we said Ladd McConkey is the official receiver of My God a Podcast?
Hey, that's hey, that's cool. We can both be it too, though. No, hey, it's a good one too. So he's electric. When he gets the ball, I'm like, oh, something's about to happen. You better start watching. So,
I mean, who's the better punt returner between you two guys? Because you guys are both pretty good at it.
shoot, I mean, he's taken one to the house. I haven't, so I can't.
Fair enough. I love it.
When he came in, have you do you guys have camaraderie? Like, are you taking him because he was kind of an unheralded guy too, right?
Yeah, so I mean, he kind of had to do, I guess, like a lot of the stuff I did, like just like being on the scout team, going against those guys. But like, he was just down there making plays, like, I mean, catching bombs, catching screens, taking them to the house, and like, feel like they realized, okay, like this guy can play. Let's get him on the field. Let's get the ball in his hands. And I mean, y'all see it now when he gets it. It's like like I said, you better start watching.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that it's just that our coaching staff is just that better at evaluations in terms of being able to bring in these guys that are diamonds in a rough, and like how is it that we're able to continue to do this? Not even at the wide receiver position, but all the other positions that we've had 3-star guys come up and out of nowhere, and now they're first round draft picks and things like that. Like what's different about Georgia that you think that's the way that it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're really good evaluators coming out of high school, like getting kids here, but they're also really good like developers. Like we practice like ones, twos, threes, fours, like everybody's getting reps like every single day here. So like there's no one that's just standing on the sideline like twiddling their thumbs. Like they're over there like getting some work in. And I feel like that's kind of what like been the difference is people like if you can get those reps and like get that time in there, like you're gonna get better.
Is there someone that's currently on the scout team that we should be looking out for next year?
Shoot, we got a lot of like just speaking like from my position, like we got some young guys like at the receiver position that they're gonna step up. I mean, even like some sophomores too, like we're so deep. Like we have so many guys that like y'all haven't even seen yet that are gonna like come up and have a breakout year. So I mean, I can't name one. There's probably gonna be a couple of them.
Okay.
When you were redshirting, like so you mentioned being on the scout team. So who was like throwing the ball to you back then? I'm trying to remember who was scout. Like was it Carson or?
No, it was JT.
It was, oh, that's right. Okay.
So
He wasn't cleared to play at first.
yeah. So
Okay.
I guess he because he ended up playing that year though, right? I think
Eventually,
like
yeah, at the end.
Was it like South Carolina or no or Mississippi State
He
when he got
played
his
at
first?
Mississippi State
Mississippi
because
State.
that's where
It
he
was
got
that.
the high yaw kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Before that, I mean, he was on scout team, so yeah, he was my quarterback down there.
Okay. Interesting. I totally forgot that. Okay. Thank you for setting me straight.
Yeah, there.
You've caught from everybody. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that we talked about heading into the Florida week was, Carson getting to go back home and play. I know, like, it was Knoxville technically closer to home for you, I guess, right? Like, are you gonna have like friends and family trying to hit you up for that game in a couple of weeks?
I mean, my whole family usually comes to comes to the game anyways, so
Okay,
they'll be
awesome.
no like all my friends really growing up, like they were all Georgia fans already, so like
Okay,
they didn't really care about Tennessee.
okay, cool. Well, no, I'm sure that'll be a special one for you though. In a couple of weeks, we'll be watching.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any are there any like anecdotes that you have that like Tate kind of gave us a Dr. Pepper story. I don't know if he told you about that or if you heard about that story, but like he had a ranking. We did the ranking for Halloween candy, I think, that Jim did on that one.
I botched it. I messed it up.
Is there anything about the holiday season coming up that you're looking forward to with Thanksgiving and Christmas?
So Thanksgiving, like, I mean, we're playing, so like, we don't really get much like time off. So I don't really get to go home, and like, I feel like my family's so big too. Like, I have like 5 Thanksgivings. It's just like on one day. So, like, but
Jeez.
well, I mean, not 5, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
we'll have
yeah,
to go too. But like my mom and dad and brother and sister, and like they usually come down to Athens and do Thanksgiving with me here. So looking forward to that. Get to spend some quality time with family.
What's your top 5 Thanksgiving dishes?
Ooh, hang on. Give me 5. Let's do 5 and rank them.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I mean, I guess what's your main dish? Do you
I
guys
was
just
say
eat turkey?
John's not a turkey guy. John's
I'm
a
not a
ham guy.
I'm not a
Okay,
turkey fan. I'm a ham or turkey. Like, are you a ham or a turkey guy? Like,
okay. I'll do turkey.
okay,
Um, dressing.
I was gonna say
okay,
dressing or stuffing. Dressing
dressing
is
or
the right
stuffing.
answer.
Do you guys do like sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes?
Yeah, we'll do. I mean, both. Like, so my dad makes this little hash brown casserole too, which is
Oh, those are good.
Nice.
always like that. Any
You got
casserole is good. Like green bean casserole, like corn, like all that. I feel like if you can just put any casserole, I guess be my top ones there.
do you guys are you a cranberry sauce guy?
Not huge, not huge, but I mean, I'm not too picky though. So whatever gets on my plate usually ends up getting eaten.
You always eat a little bit of everything, right? Because you can't insult Aunt May or whatever.
But yeah, you got to get 2 plates. You got to get 2 plates. Have to.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Well, so what's your prediction for the Saturday?
Hey,
Oh,
that's
John.
up to me to decide. All I know is we're going to just go out there, play our game, and let the rest take care of itself.
I do have one more question about game day in general. So I did ask this question from Tate. Have you been on the receiving end of a Kirby rage stroke?
Yeah, I actually have.
Can you walk us through that process from your
Or just like
perspective?
what goes through your head?
Yeah, what goes through your head?
I mean, I always say this. It's like listen to the message, not the tone. Because you just like hear him screaming, you're like, oh my gosh, someone's screaming at me, like it's crazy. But if you like really listen, like he's not doing it to like be mean. Like he's not trying to like be mad at you. He's just like he's so competitive and so like passionate about it. He just wants the best for us. But yeah, I guess I've been on a couple of those. But I feel like if you haven't, then something's
If you
wrong.
haven't, something's wrong. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. He does it out of love, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man, that's got to be just a cool experience. Like you've basically been on the ascension of everything, related to this program and watching what Kirby's built. Is there any other inside like one of the things that we've been kind of impressed with is just the details of everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could elaborate on with that as relation to what you've seen from your perspective as a player? Or
Yeah.
maybe something that's different from what you hear from your friends that are at other schools, kind of thing.
I mean, really, just like we kind of approach it with like everything matters. Like our big thing is like focus on like now. Like don't look in the past, don't look ahead. Like, and
Moment
that's
by moment.
exactly. And y'all have heard him say that, but like that's really like what he preaches and what like all our players like go by. Like whether that's like the meeting you're in right then, the walkthrough you're about to go to, like practice, and as soon as practice ends, that's treatment, and then after treatment, that's ranking. Like it's literally just like win the moment you're in. Like don't look too far ahead, don't look too far behind you, because at the end of the day, like that's not really going to help you. And so I feel like that's our thing is just like focus on little things and don't let anything slip by.
I mean, honestly, it's like to me, one of the cool things has been like, so one of the things that people say about Kirby is like, was he not the head football coach, he'd be pretty successful, like in the business world. And like, I do feel like the things that we see, that we hear coming out are not just good lessons in football, but also in life. I mean, like what you just talked through, like, anyone can apply that. I'm sure you guys will keep that with you throughout life. It's gonna, it's gonna set you all up well for even in life after football. So it's pretty cool.
No doubt.
What's something out there that the people don't know about Ladd McConkey that they should know?
Um, I don't know. Trying to think. I like to play golf. I mean, I guess I'm a lefty, so I hit on the wrong side.
There you
Okay.
go. Me too. Are you actually left-handed, or do you just play golf left-handed?
Just play golf left-handed. Yeah, like I throw, do everything else right-handed, but hit a golf club left-handed.
Same. Me too.
Heck yeah, heck
I
yeah.
would. My dad taught me how to hit a baseball left-handed, and so I ended up doing golf left-handed too. So that's how it ended with me.
Yeah, that's how I'm like growing up. Played baseball. I was always a lefty, but
Okay.
yeah. So if I would switch hit too sometimes though, it's like if I was hitting bad on the left side, my dad was like, I'm gonna make you switch to right-handed. Like, yeah, like I'm sorry.
Nice.
Ambidextrous or something right here.
But yeah, I guess that could be something.
Okay. Yeah, that works. That works. Hey, we learned that. I didn't know that. And now I can talk about how Ladd McConkey plays golf the way I do. So
Uh, Hopefully
guys,
play a little better than I do though.
probably not.
Did you play at the Bulldogs Battling Breast Cancer golf tournament?
Yeah, so I didn't get to play in it this past year, which I was upset about, but every other year I got to play in it. So
That's
Very
awesome.
cool. Very cool. Yeah. So we've had Dwight who manages the tournament. We've had him on the
yep.
podcast. He's a friend of ours. I actually got to meet Jay Abbott, who he and his wife Teresa founded the charity. I got to meet him this past weekend, homecoming weekend. So good people. Good people.
They're such good people. So and like putting on that like event, it's awesome. So I was
Yeah.
upset I didn't here, but
Speaking of the charitable events, did you get to play in the bowling event that Coach Rick did?
I did not either. I didn't get to go to that. We had like some other receivers, like there's like 3 or 4 other receivers that went to go bowl and do that. But if they said it was a good turnout and like they raised a lot of money and it was a good event, so that was super exciting.
Was there any smack talk about who won the belts?
Some guy talking about it. They were there just arguing, but I mean, there's guys on our team that are so competitive, like they'll start arguing about anything. So
I bet.
it's
That's
always
good.
funny. Keeps you on your toes.
Nice. All right, Ladd. Well, hey, we really appreciate you coming on My God podcast. We've had a blast getting some insight from you Shout out again to Classic City Collective and Oxia Time for putting this together, making it happen. And whether we say official receiver Monocratic podcast, unofficial, official, you're definitely you're joining the annals for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thanks. We're very appreciative of your time. Just, Jim and I are huge fans of yours and the team. We're alumni, so we are very appreciative of everything that you dedicate your bodies and your time to this game that we all love. So just thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Good luck the rest of the season. Go Dogs.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. I enjoyed
Go
it.
Dogs.
Dogs.